Hey, Reaper peeps, how are you this afternoon, this fine and sunny but too freaking cold afternoon in Denton, Texas? I would like to say, Denton, Texas, you're supposed to be warm, just so you know. I hate being cold. That's my absolute no good. No Moobot. What? We've got no Moobot?
Yeah, it's now...
Oh, it's Darth Abacus bot, right.
Correct.
Yes, because Dave was like, I don't want a Moobot. I think Dave is just anti-cow, unless he's eating it.
Well, originally, when he wanted to change the name of it, we still had Nightbot. And we'll see what happened to Nightbot.
Oh, yeah.
So this is an old thing.
Yes,
And
okay.
So.
Right, got it. Yes, we don't moo here. So, hey, how are you, everyone? We are here again at the show, and I would like to say that this model is misnamed. It is not the Dance of Death, because it never dies. Ever. How many weeks? Almost 40 weeks on this sucker.
So then there's this. What's the chat?
What's the chat? Watch the chat. Okay, I'll watch the chat.
Hold on a second.
Uh-oh. Justin is typing something. It's very suspense-laden. No ways!
Thought you might like that.
Yes, I do love the Magic 8-Ball. I loved them when I was a kid, too. Because it was Dave's call, because he's like the commander in second in Commander-in-Chief here at Reaper. And Dave loves both Darth Vader and also the Grim Reaper. So, in fact, Dave is a large part of why we are named Reaper. So, Dave gets what he wants, not for Sir Four-Scale Bot. Pretty much.
Yes.
What's up this show, Achilles? This is where I once again paint the dragons that never end. We're moving on with the white dragon this week. I blocked out the white dragon last week. It made me very happy because so much of it is actually done-ish, or looks done-ish now that I have, successfully wet blended its scales. And if y'all want tips on how to speed paint a dragon, well, just watch me do this sucker, because I mean, I could even speed paint it even more if I didn't outline the scales like I'm going to do today, but I think it makes it look a lot better, so I'm going to do it. But honestly, if you just wet blended him to the point that I've wet blended him and then picked out his claws, teeth, and eyes, you'd be fine. So yeah, it's Mr. Whitish Dragon. He's not technically a white dragon, but he looks like a white dragon. This is an example of how to paint white without using a lot of pure white. Oh, yay, Iffy Paints gave us a Twitch Prime. Yay, that's a sub. That's a sub. We love subs.
Which is a good transition.
Oh, to talk about our potential sub thing?
Correct. So actually, I was thinking, you know what we only have done like one of on this show out of all the shows we've ever done?
What?
A paintbrush giveaway. Like
we have only done it once.
We've done it one time.
We did it for the flat brushes because I was using them on training.
Correct.
And wait, no, we did a Kalinsky Sable.
We did. So we've done two so far.
Yep.
So let's do another paintbrush giveaway.
Another paintbrush giveaway.
Yes.
Okay, what should we give away?
And I was any of the Kalinskys, because I like, people really like when we gave away a nice brush. And I talked to Courtney already, and we are approved on any of them.
Okay.
They're all okay.
Great.
To give away one of them per 5 subs.
Okay.
If he counts as the first one. Now, what, in your opinion, Anne, should be the Kalinsky? Or we can even do a pair of them. Like if you had to do all mini work ever at all and cover it with 2 or 3 brushes, what 2 or 3 brushes would it be?
Well, one of them would be, if I had to do Kalinskys for everything, because for base coating, technically, you can get away with the Taklon.
Okay.
Although you will get the hook on the thing. Let's
assume you do Kalinskys for everything.
If you use Kalinskys for everything, and this does not include extremely large models, although you know they do a size 0 brush on the forums. Don't know why the rest of you couldn't. So yeah, it would be the size 0, the size odd 5, and the size odd 10.
Odd 5 and odd 10. 0,
odd 5, odd 10. Yep. If I had to pick 3. If it was 2, then the odd 5 is your workhorse, and like I just like the odd 10 for details. The odd 10 is also the smallest size I would ever go to for a brush.
Okay, then we will give one of each of those away.
Ooh, and Neural Out gave us a sub too. That's number 2. Now we need 3 more or how many? Wait, we need 10 total.
We need per 5. We're giving away.
Oh, per 5, right?
Yes.
So we do need 3 more. To do stuff. Yeah, you should recline planner because this is going to be such a chill stream, like, honestly. And say, well, if he is not a gray dragon, he is a white dragon, and he looks like a white dragon. You don't have to paint something entirely white for it to be a white dragon. If you look at anything white in nature, it has huge expanses of gray on it. Or blue.
That's because you hit the 25 gift sub badge thing, Planer.
25 gift subs.
Yeah, she was asking about the red box.
Oh, how do you get a purple one?
Because
Because Walt Bledsaw has
I think
purple one.
purple is the intro. Like
Oh,
that's
okay. That's
and
the
then
first
you give
level?
20. Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay.
So for instance, oh man, MG photo. Thank you.
Well, yay! Now we actually have started giveaways. So now there will be, what, a OT 5 and an OT 10 Kalinsky Sable given away for every 5 subs. So we need 3 more to make it 2.
And let me actually activate the thing here in a second.
Sure. Activate the thing. He's activating the thing. We probably should go to Dragon Cam so I could get like started on outlining these scales.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, all right. Thanks. Thanks.
I appreciate that MG photo. All right, let's go ahead and switch
Yeah,
again.
let's go to Dragon Cam. Dragon Cam. See, he looks like a white dragon. Come on. Come on. Give me a break. All right, so I want a lining brush, and that means my Da Vinci Maestro Series 10, size 1. Can you say it with me? I say it often enough. I don't even have to think about it anymore. It's...
So yeah,
wow, we have
it is active now.
Yeah, is active. All right, peeps,
Hashtag
free if you want yourself some Kalinsky Sables. This is rare that we do brush giveaways because often our inventory does not allow it. I am going to add a drop of water to my stuff and grab my mixie brush. Well, he's a white dragon in the case of his species, but he's not painted entirely white.
Also am.
To be more clear.
Step away for a second. I have something to take care of.
Yep.
And I'll be back. Don't burn anything down.
Let's burn something down, guys. Justin's leaving the room.
Oh, wow. All the gift subs.
All right, let's get Dragon on cam. All right, so what I'm doing today is going to be pretty boring, but we can all just hang out and you can watch me do it and see the difference, actually, depending from one side to the other. So other side of Dragon looks a lot like first side of Dragon. You can see where his shadows are. First side of Dragon is here. Now what I'm going to do is what I was doing up here is lining these scales because you see how much more crisp it makes them look. And I'm actually going to go up and also line some of these highlight scales. And I'm going to mix another color for that because I want it to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, let's see here. Yay. Hey, nomadzeke, how's it going? So yeah. So, okay, so let's mix this color that I've got here, the nice blue-gray, is, of course, we're using blue liner and pure white. That's what we're doing. And blue liner is very faded labels, so I don't know if you can even see it. It's an ancient bottle of blue liner. But yeah, so we're using these guys, and this is 50-50. So this is 4 drops of this and 4 drops of that. 4 drops of blue liner, 4 drops of pure white. Yay. All sorts of hashtag freeze. Good job. Oh, and more gifting. Thank you for being so generous today, Planer. Wow. Glad to see y'all here. Let's paint a dragon. I so want to be done with these dragons. You have no idea. Okay, maybe after 40 weeks, almost 40 weeks, you do have an idea. But I swore I would get this project will be done by the end of March, come hell or high water, even if I have to paint it on my morning stream too. 4, 5, 6. Oh, I would be yellow for sure. Gosh. But which yellow? Well, my signature color was supposed to be Golden Glow, which is an orange phase yellow mixed with white, which is a very pretty glowy, yellowy color. I really like candlelight, so I wanted that color. But, you know, I could also be like a pretty obnoxious purple, so I need to move my water jar. Lantern yellow. Yeah, it's close, Tezlanch, because Golden Glow is very close to lantern yellow mixed with white. Oh, guys, you didn't, like, engineer a catastrophe soon enough. Justin has returned to the comm. Only 21 members away from a donated giveaway during Anne's morning show. Wow, join the Reaper Discord, folks. Hey, sibling, it's good to see you. All right.
The support today is great, Ann.
Huh?
We already have 19 subs.
Wow, we need one more sub. Then we can do another one.
We're 30 bits away from a 20th sub.
Obnoxious purple is just misunderstood. I do need to make a color called obnoxious purple, probably, and just make that Anne's signature color. Although it'd be very close to a number of other colors we have, but it probably would be pretty useful. Let's see. Well, first of all, I'm going to line around these scales because I want to check it versus some of the dark stuff. And I also kind of missed this spot. See, when you do this, you can totally correct the spots that you missed. So since I missed a spot in here, and since this is my darkest color, this blue-gray, I want to kind of test my lining color to make sure that it's dark enough and yet light enough. I don't want it to be like super dark. Like if I put straight up blue line around this, it would be very disruptive. It would look black. It wouldn't look like a natural shadow. You'll have to talk to Ed about that planer. He was the one who engineered the original. And now Sadie will get stuck with it. Ha ha. Because she's like working on learning how to do new colors. Dubious brown, yeah, dubious brown and obnoxious purple here. Let me make a note. I'll grab my pad. Dubious brown and obnoxious purple. Got it. Dubious brown. Obnoxious purple. There we go. Yay, I have the color names. Outrageous orange is lovely. I'll steal that. Pendrake, thank you. Obnoxious orange and, sorry, outrageous orange, and it has alliteration. Okay, so that's good. That's a triad, right? Dubious brown, obnoxious purple, and outrageous orange. Well, if we do morose blue, we'd have to do emo black. Let's see here. As with all things, this is essentially a lining. Always turn the model around so that you are lining with correct positioning, folks. It will mean you build brush control faster. I have a PDF about how to do that. I think I have a video on how to do that. I think I have both on my Patreon.
So the reason why the bot text is in a different color is so that it catches people's eye a little better. It is intended to be something that sticks out versus the standard chat message.
Yeah. Frustrated fuchsia. Let's see here. I probably should start up here, though. Should start up on the back of his neck. So yeah, actually, dragons are awesome things to practice lining on. I used the copper dragon. You know what? I'm going to raise up my camera just a little bit to make sure he stays in focus, guys, because I'm just a little bit out when I raise him up. There we go.
Am I quiet, road dog? I didn't think I was, actually. My levels are normal. Or maybe I'm just talking quietly.
Maybe you're out of energy. Maybe production has sapped your soul. Yeah, it is the trough, as they say. Or the energy trough that most of us run into. Are you a night owl or a morning bird?
Night owl all the way.
So you're you stay up late by preference, or you just don't get going until later in the day, or both?
No, my brain, I can't put it to sleep.
Oh.
At night, so right now we're in focus.
What's your highest energy time of the day? Like, when are you most productive?
Probably at midnight. Sometimes like early AM.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
I used to code at that time too.
They do. They have shown through studies that will shift as you get older. If you didn't know, I'm reading more science books, so I have all these great, sciencey things to talk about. Got to turn the dragon so I can get. See, this is going to be the hard part because I got to turn the dragon so I can get a comfortable angle on this stuff, and hopefully, it won't be too far out of focus.
Mic check. Can you guys hear me now? So most of what I was just saying to Ann, I was adjusting the camera so I wasn't at my mic. So you guys wouldn't have been able to hear me. But can you hear me right this second? Because if it's not working now. Okay, yeah. So that's what it was. I was adjusting the mic so you guys couldn't hear me.
Thanks for letting us know, though. Oh. All right, got some lining in there. That's really making his little scales stand out. So yeah, lining can essentially be a substitute for shading if you don't want to be too intrusive on a color you're setting up. Like with white, you have to keep most of the surface white or near white, and I will be highlighting a lot of this stuff. But in order to make the scales stand out more, so they're sharper, you do need a little bit of extra shadow, but you don't necessarily want to go out onto each scale because that would make each scale appear darker. So in that case, just using some lining can be a good way to get the best of both worlds. And in this case, I am not using a black or near black liner because I'm dealing with white. I always want to use a lighter color when that happens. Get that, and that, and that, and that. There we go. Now we have some nice scales. Like the scales really stand out now. And they'll stand out from a ways away as well. The black is actually blue liner, and it will come up a little bit toward that, although the teeth are going to go a little bit bone colored, probably. The claws may or may not. But I like the drama. I like the contrast between the dark mouth and the dark horns and the white hide. A lot of artists, like traditional D&D artists, have painted a white dragon's mouth as blue, like having bluish or blue-black gums instead of, pink, and I think that works really well for contrast, so I may do the same thing. I haven't decided because the wings actually have some purples and pinks in them, so I could go that way with his tongue, but his gums will almost certainly stay the blue-black. Nope, I'm not, well, I am kind of halfway KSB Snow Owl. Okay, washes are usually, you'd want to use contrast paint if you were lining with a Citadel color, probably, because the contrast paint is made to stay in the nooks and crannies and to be fairly vivid in those areas. I'm not sure how it would work with that, though, because the consistency is odd. Usually, you don't thin liner paint very much. I am using a combination of a liner color and a regular color KSB. This is a combination of blue liner and pure white. But, I mean, it's not thinned very much. It's maybe thinned, I want to guess, 3 to 1 paint to water. You really don't want to thin your liners a lot because you want them to still make a strong line. You want to thin them just enough so that they come smoothly off the brush and no more. So you don't actually, I think that trying to line with a wash would actually be counterproductive unless you were trying for a very subtle effect, which could certainly be a thing. Let's see here. These lines got a little strong last week, so I'm going to actually take them down a little bit. A little more subtle. Just painting my lighter color across the top of them where they are closer to the sky. You can really use any color to line. Obviously it needs to be darker than what you're doing, since that's the whole point. If you're doing traditional lining, is to make segments stand out by introducing a dark line between each segment. There. That's pretty good. But yeah, so essentially this saves me a lot of work, this approach. I'm not painting every scale on this dragon separately. I'm going to, KSB, yeah, we make liners. 9066 is blue liner, 9064 are brown liner, and those are the two most useful ones. Liners are naturally a little bit more transparent, and they are a little more fluid out of the bottle, so you do not need to thin them much to get them useful. But they also, as you can see, make great paint. So you can use them as paint colors also. They do not always have to use them as liners. I like making things that are more than one trick pony. So yeah, let's see here. We hit this area between these scales, and the sky, the dragon is like really upright when he's finally posed. Like the light is coming from up there, so that's why the higher up areas are lighter, and anything underneath this ridge is darker, especially the area under the wings. So I'm trying not to impact my light areas too much. And technically, nothing on this dragon except for these highlights on the neck and the highlights on the head is actually pure white. Everything else is a mixture. Even these that come up close to pure white aren't quite pure light. And that is, the reason for that is that then I can go back and highlight scales to bring them up higher, and they'll stand out, right? Just like that. Kwahiri. Yeah, I'm planning to teach at least a couple classes in ReaperCon. I haven't gotten the email yet. I probably should ask Ron, because I haven't needed to be on the email chain for that in a while, so. But yes, I was thinking about 2, maybe 3. It's hard because since I do their awards ceremony and I help judge the competition like a lot of our instructors do, it takes a lot of time. So I like to also have some time just to help people and give critiques and stuff at ReaperCons, so I try not to overload with classes for that reason. Those who have seen me after the award ceremony know that I'm absolutely just like knockered, even though, you know, I technically normally, like, I don't think I even taught last year, and I still was exhausted by the time Saturday night after the award ceremony rolled around, so. I kind of watch my energy a lot at these things, because it's also a big energy sucker to just be on, to be like, you know, to be on stage, because, you know, you're, as an artist, you're kind of representing the company, you're representing the convention, and so just to always, you know, be polished and professional and nice and just keep your best face forward for 12 hours a day is also tiring. So it's even though it may look like the painters just sit around and, you know, work or talk at the con, we are actually doing work. It is actually a little bit of stressful. Depends on whether you're an introvert or an extrovert or whatever, you know, too. But most of us are introverts.
Also, Taslange, as far as the paint she's using, that kind of changes time to time. So at any given point, just kind of ask her what paint she's using.
Yeah, I mean, this is blue liner and pure white. That's what we're using on Mr. Dragon from now until he is done. Except for the mouth and maybe the horns and claws.
Bottles you can put on screen for us?
I did have, but my blue liner is really fadey, and it was getting in the way of Mr. Dragon because he's quite large.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. Boop. I like blue liner. I decided to use blue liner for this because I love the color that it makes when mixed with pure white. I love this blue-gray. It's a lovely color. Aw. Thanks, Typestorm. Yeah, I pour so much of my energy into that convention. Just from the moment I first show up to the moment it's done. Hey, Ground Zero, it's good to see you. Jedi Jared, it varies, I think. It typically varies like by the size, in the past at least. Okay, and they change this regularly because they're still trying to find the sweet spot. We essentially need to make each class make a certain amount of money depending, so that we can actually pay for the convention center. So it's around 25, 30, 40, depending on the class. Smaller classes usually cost more because they have to. And usually that'll be like very well-known instructors or teaching a very advanced class, so they need it to be smaller so that they can effectively teach it, because there's a lot of help that they give the students for that. You know, it depends. It really, really depends, but in that range. And the classes are just short of 2 hours.
Thank you, Plana. Oh, by the way, earlier I got your message, Plana, and I was curious if connecting the now Darth Abacus bot to Discord was going to cause any confliction with the current bots that are already on there. And if it's not, as of right now, causing problems, then we're fine. So, but if you do see issues, let me know, because that's probably why. Also, thanks again, Plana.
Yay, planer.
Yay, Plana.
We need a yay planer chair.
I realized, too, I said all of that, and my mic was muted.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's fine.
Justin muted himself
I'm sure
out.
they heard me sort of in the background, but yeah.
This is Justin. He's having a challenging mic day, everybody.
Clearly.
Say hello, Justin. Tell us about your bad mic day.
No, real quick, Planer, since my mic is now unmuted. We heard you. Okay, thank you, Varl. I appreciate that. Did you hear me, Planer? No, we did not. Okay, some of us didn't. Planer, the message you sent me earlier about the bot, I was concerned at whether or not it was going to conflict with the bots that you had already put them in there. That you already put in Discord. That's what I'm trying to say. And if there is any problems, let me know. But I don't think there will be. But that's what my my statement was about. Twisted, I feel like you're just trolling me now, but it's okay. I still love you. It's fine.
Yes, troll Justin. It's all good. Although probably not on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are Justin's. Isn't Thursday your longest day?
Oh, even better, Planer. What?
Isn't Thursday actually your longest day?
Yes, it is. We have 3 shows on Thursday.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so Wednesday, this is just the build-up to the exhausted day for Justin.
Thursdays are the real whip days.
Planer has expertise and says they will not conflict.
So thank you for that, Planer. Also, hello, Kawahiri of Astoria, or Astora. Are you new here? I have not seen that name.
That's true.
Have you seen that name, Ann?
I have not. I greeted Kawahiri when she asked a question, or he asked a question.
Well, if you're
They
new
asked a
here,
question.
welcome Astora, because that's probably easier than saying the whole thing. Kawahiri?
Kwahiri.
Maybe it's
Kwahiri.
just Kwahiri?
It's Kwahiri. Mm-hmm.
Either way,
Oh, boy.
welcome if you're new.
Whip it good indeed, Ground Zero. That's what whipped brains feel like today, yeah. Afternoon is just like, I'm actually a morning person, so afternoons for me are my big energy slump. This is actually not a bad thing to be doing during an energy slump, because they actually have proven that, get this, okay, everybody, you know morning birds and night owls and all that stuff, right? You know that a lot of people are probably in the middle of that. But it turns out that just means that during your prime time of day, you're better at analytical tasks that take analysis or judgment, like you were saying that you used to code at night, Justin. But it turns out that during the trough time, the time you are lacking in energy and you maybe are sleepier and not as prime, like in my case as a morning person, it's the afternoon. During those times, those are actually excellent times to do creative tasks, because you don't need to be analytical. You don't need to be like severely, concentrating sharply on logical things. You can just, if you're brainstorming, that's a great time for it. If you're doing painting or creative stuff. So even if you're tired, it's not a bad time to do creative things. If you must do anything, creativity is okay. I learned that from my book about how to life hack your day.
That's actually really cool. Also, Dr. Bob, let's see, I think it was Rings already answered you, so thank you, Rings. It is the Kalinsky brushes. What else?
Odd 5, odd 10, yes.
Odd 5, odd 10.
Yep.
There was another question.
Is there another question? Sorry, I'm painting dragon scales, so
No problem. So the channel points will not convert over to the proprietary points, because those will be separate systems. However, the channel points are going to change here pretty soon to better interact with the shows that we do and in specific ways to the best of our ability. Because it won't let me change sections of like ways to spend your points based on the show, unfortunately. But what I can do is create kind of a general, oh, thank you, Monkeys with Fire. What I can do
Fire
is
gave us stuff.
They gave us a raid. What I can do is change it to where there might be something for each show for you to spend your points on. And we're brainstorming some stuff that we talked about maybe bouncing off you guys today. During the show, right?
We were
Ann?
storming brains. Yes, we were.
Do you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, I can undistract myself with Dragon for long enough to tell them about it. What were we gonna do? Oh yeah, I remember now. All right, so you want to go to face cam for a second?
Yeah, we can do that.
That way I'm not distracted by dragon painting. Justin pulled a blooper that's Anne's style, guys. Did you see?
I went the wrong direction. I'm sorry. You know what? For my own sake, I'm gonna fix this.
We call that crossing the streams.
Yes, I crossed the streams. I took steps back instead of steps forward.
I'm not the only one. Let the record show.
Wow, today has just been
Today is amazing. So guys, we had a thought. We had a thought, okay? So for the morning stream, for various reasons. We haven't done giveaways on it, and we were kind of brainstorming because we didn't want to do just like all the other shows, right? We want the morning stream to be different. It's a lot different in its like method of like content and all this kind of things. And I mean, a lot of you say, you know, the knowledge is reward enough, and that's great. But we were thinking then that the best reward for subbing during my morning show would be more knowledge. We were, in fact, thinking that since we had established that questionable Anne channel in our Discord that you guys could give me questions for, and we'd mentioned that eventually we'd have a, you know, I'd answer a number of those questions, you know, when we got enough built up. But then we were thinking, well, maybe the trigger that makes that happen is the number of subs I get to my morning show. So maybe at 20 or 25 subs for my morning show, we do that. We hit 25 subs. Let's schedule the day where Anne sits down and just answers your questions for an hour. And then we'll just pretty much start in the questionable Anne channel, and we'll just go down until we run out of time. And then it'll reset. We wouldn't want to do more than one a month probably, because, you know, you eventually do run out of content, and I want to make sure that we're spacing it out. I don't want to totally take over my morning show with just answering questions. I want to actually have targeted learning. That's kind of what that show's about. But we thought that might be a cool thing to reward you guys for subs, and that way it also would ask you guys to put more questions for me into the questionable Anne. And they can be anything. They can be questions about my time at Reaper, or they can be specific questions about a color, like what does burnt orange go with?
And you can accompany a picture with it if you want to. We can put that.
Yeah, if you have a paint problem that you're like, you know, I'll put up a picture of my model and say, what's wrong with my red? You know, I could do that. We can totally do that. That's actually a great thing to do. So do you guys like that? Do you think it'd be fun? Like that would be the giveaway, like, or not the giveaway, you know, it would be the reward for hitting a certain number of subs for my morning. Like, and Planer, of course, is running a donated physical reward as well, but I thought it might be cool. You do like it? Sibling likes it. Sentimental likes it. Yes, you can ask me about my dogs if you really want me to go on for half an hour about my dogs. Okay, not half an hour. 5 minutes each, max. Okay. Questions about Drown Nipple Pink?
Also, I considered, Anne, maybe you can answer this right here now. Engineering a big point expenditure on here for the show, where basically it's kind of a critique thing. So instead of answering a question, it's kind of separate. If they accrue all of these channel points and they have this super special question, they just want it answered, and they spend all of these points, we'll put a picture up or whatever it is they want to send
and
to us.
have me critique it?
And you have you critique it, or you name it, and then that'll just do that.
If it's like, hey, critique my mini and tell me what my next step is, I do that all the time at ReaperCon.
There we go.
Type 1 if you want it. We're getting 1.
So that is something we might engineer into the channel points.
Oh, Super Sarah, we were talking about my rewards for my morning show, which is at 11 a.m. Monday through Thursday. And it's a very knowledge-based show where I do a specific color or technique every day on a different model, or a different subject, you know, of model. But we were talking about doing a day every once in a while. If I get enough subs, I'll do a day where I just answer you guys' questions. And the place to put the questions is the Reaper Discord, which I'm sure Planer can put the bot just went up. It's on the page above. But if we get enough people in Discord, there's a questionable Anne channel in there that you can drop questions to me in. So we thought that would be a good trigger for me to do it, an AMA, just because we had already talked about doing it. And that would be also a great sub reward, which isn't just a giveaway. Like, in a way, it's even better than a free for me, because it benefits all of you, right? Like, everybody gets to listen to the answers to the questions that everybody else has asked. Everybody gets to see me critique a mini or say, hey, here's how to fix the red on that model or whatever, right? So, yeah, and if you've got, that's a good point, the points, Justin. That would be great. That would be a good way to use those points.
Correct.
Oh, Shotokami, you have no idea. I have seen like 9 and 11-year-olds, like, you know, painting, and honestly, some of them are better than I was at 20. So don't worry. No matter how bad you think you are, the thing is that my goal is not to rip you down. My goal is always to tell you what's the next thing you can do to get better. That's what I do. And if you are doing anything that's a really horrible habit, then I can point it out to you. But usually I'm focused on, okay, you need to thin your paint more. Okay, you need more contrast. Okay, you need never to use yellow again. No, just kidding. So yeah, I think that's a good idea for the point thing, to get personal critiques, Justin. That way we won't get inundated. Because if we just put that up for anybody, then it's going to be like, it's going to be overwhelming. We'd spend all day critiquing things and we would never get to anything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, everyone gets to hear about Kiri. Yeah. I could even, if we're going to answer Kiri questions, I can bring in a couple of visual aids, like little tiny puppy pictures and, stuff like that. That would be fun.
All right. Are you ready to get back to the
All right.
dragon?
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Oh, thanks, Caprera. All right. Oh, yeah, and Planer just hit my Patreon. So just so you know, I also have a Patreon, everybody. I love my Patreon. It makes me happy. It is patreon.com/paintingbig. And the biggest difference between this and that is that on the Patreon, I do a lot of PDFs, which are a nice accompaniment for people to keep on specific topics. So there we go. KSB Snow Owl, I have a Shiloh Shepherd named Kiri. And Justin has a picture of her somewhere, which he may want to put up or may not. If he can't find a Kiri picture, then that's fine.
I think it got purged when I cleared stuff out.
We purged the Kiri picture?
Yeah. However,
you've horrified me.
It
should be still in your email.
Thanks to my ability to save assets and in expectation to use them again. It happens all the time. I have it right here.
You also have chat on our screen right now.
Oh, well, that's...
There we go. There's Kiri.
They can't see that. That's just you.
Yay! Oh, okay. That's just me. Yeah, so that's my girl. That was her at the vet. She hurt her legs, so we went into the vet. But I got a really good Kiri picture, so that's my girl. Thank you. She is... Yeah, Shilohs are descended from German Shepherds, but other breeds were crossed in to give them better health. That's why we went with the Shiloh. That, and they have more of a couch potato temperament. I mean, they still have some energy, but they're not like go, 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 like a lot of working Shepherds are. So we wanted the health. They especially have really good hips in general. But yeah, they're great dogs. And Kiri is I had 4 once upon a time, and now I am down to just the 1. And she's my old girl. She turned 12 this year in January. So... when she goes, I'll probably get another one. I'm actually involved on a national level with the breed. I'm on the board of the breed club, so I actually went to dog shows in my youth. And okay, so now this is actually a good example. So this is way too dark. All of this works just fine, but when I got here, that was way too dark. So how do we fix that? We glaze. Where's our white? Yeah, KSB, I'm all about that because I did grow up going to dog shows, and so I've just witnessed so many people getting dogs that they like the looks of, but then the temperament was completely wrong for them. Mostly couch potato people getting dogs who are not couch potatoes. We are freeing a /5 and /10 Kolinsky Sable Reaper Brush Silverthorn. Astra Pendrake. If you met Astra, yes, she actually was the daughter of our first 2 dogs, Kiri and Leo. So yeah, she was Kiri's daughter. First daughter, as a matter of fact. She was the first puppy born out of our first litter. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't Astra live with someone else?
Yeah, she lives with Jared.
Yeah,
but, I mean, she's been up at Paint Club before.
Oh, we have, as of currently, 24 subs. So we are 1 sub away from
we need 1 little sub.
5th set of brushes.
Yes, and now if you can remove the Kiri dog, I need to show people my palette. Sorry, Kiri, bye! She's downstairs, actually, snoozing. I bring her to work every day. But yeah, we can talk. We can talk as much about Kiri as we want. Okay, so when you're glazing with white, it gets a little crazy. Yes, Caprera, I use wildlife pictures all the time. But usually when I'm painting something that's similar to what I'm working on at the moment. Right now, if I went for white lizards, unfortunately, it's usually going to bring up an albino, which is not the color scheme I wanted. I didn't want to go yellowish with this. So, is there a lighting range in Kelvin that's regarded as best or more painting friendlier than others? In Kelvin, I don't know how to even talk about Kelvin.
Oh, I got you.
All right, so I said this morning that I used to use a 100-watt bulb on either side of me, and that was incandescent, and that was daylight.
White, right?
Daylight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So daylight is about 5,400, I think, Kelvin.
So 200 watts of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is about mid-range.
Yeah.
So if you want, I believe it is the lower the Kelvin, I believe it's the colder it gets.
Uh-huh.
or vice versa. It's
Yeah.
one way or the other. I can't remember, but I think it's the hotter the Kelvin, the hotter the
Yeah, I
the
think
it
so.
looks.
I think so.
So, for instance, these two lights right here, Ann,
Yeah.
they're actually set at different Kelvin in
Oh,
order
yeah.
to give me a mixture of what I want.
Ah, okay, cool. Do Shilohs make good service animals? Yes, Shilohs make excellent service animals, Twistoma, but it depends on the type of service dog. We have a breeder who does specifically diabetes alert dogs, and they do amazing. Astra is actually an epilepsy alert dog, a seizure alert dog, and she does great. But PTSD service dogs, not so much, because they're too empathic and they're going to take their cues from their owner. So if their owner is upset, the dog will not react correctly. Paint question. Whoa, can you scroll back up a little bit for me, Justin? Just a tad. Just a tad to that big one. Oh, please scroll up. There we go. Okay, buy a Bones paint starter set for daughter. I would like 20 paints, and they are. Oh, okay. Yeah, like at that point, like we do have a starter set, but it's I think it's 11 paints, and I don't like I didn't construct it necessarily to include all the primaries and secondaries. Like your best bet. That's a hard call. I'd almost buy or both learn to paint kits. I think you get almost everything in there. But if you're going to be that specific, you need to just go, just come to the store or look at a paint rack and pick out the paints that you think would be the best for that. I'm losing track now because you guys are just like shooting up. Lots of chatting today. So if I missed your question, please say it again. I know earlier somebody had a question about painting old bronze. Yeah, that's definitely one for a future like 11 a.m. show. It would be very difficult for me to. I assume I also need to know if painting old bronze means or ancient bronze equals like NMM, or are we talking NMM or are we talking metallics? Things like that. But that would be a good questionable question possibly. That way I could go into it in more detail. Yeah, I mean, both Learn to Paint kits gives you 22 paints. The only thing I think you don't get is an orange, but orange is super mixable. And it's a good mixture of everything else. And it also comes with the instructions, the models, and the brushes. So, I mean, finger painting. No, probably not nomadzeke, sorry. I'd be more likely to show you guys how to do colored pencils, which is my media of choice when I'm not doing acrylics, is colored pencil. If I ever do a stream just for me, maybe I'll have to do that. And it'll be like doing a Kiri portrait in colored pencil with Anne. All right, so I'm just painting thin layers of white glaze over this shoulder to see how it's fading out those dark lines that were way too dark. Yeah, if you're doing old bronze and you're in metallics, just use 9197 for your starter and shade it with dark green. You could bring it up with tarnished brass 9198. That gives you really close. Could also use dragon bronze from Bones. Would also be a great highlight for it. And you can actually mix those two, the dragon bronze and the old bronze. Oh yeah, I grew up on Prismacolor, Quindy, and they're still my go-to, but I also, I'm a big James Gurney devotee, he who did Dinotopia, and he uses a brand called Caran d'Ache, which is incredibly expensive in Spanish, I think, but it is, the differences are that the Caran d'Ache is really soft. So if you need blendable colored pencils, like really blendable, Caran d'Ache is awesome. And then if you want colored pencils that are, more for burnishing or you want to get a texture, then Prismacolors and Prismacolors all over the place actually. And they're harder leads, which I can't remember what they're called. They make a harder lead set. Those are good for burnishing. Paint spinner. Oh, I don't even know, Lebralski, if paint spinners exist anymore. Hey, Justin, can you Google for me? Google paint spinner.
Paint spinner.
Yeah, 2 words. They used to exist, and I don't know if anybody does them anymore. If the company is still if the company is even still existing. Anything? They should be white. Keep going down.
Oh. Some stuff like this.
No, wrong kind of spinning.
But that looks fun.
We want a spice storage rack. No.
No, but that looks fun.
No, it's not fun.
Like this?
Yeah, kind of, but it has to be multi-tiered and hold lots of paint.
I see what you're saying. Don't we usually have people like that bring stuff like that to RiverCon?
Right, but they bought it from a company, and I don't know if the company still exists.
I see.
That's my problem, and I kind of thought they didn't.
I do not see it.
Yeah, so what probably the closest thing would be a multi-tiered spinning spice rack, which you probably could also Google and find, because paints and spices have roughly the same size. It'd be a little loose for them, but you could at least use it. Quahiri, it's a Dance of Death dragon. It's one of the 2 fighting dragons.
Something like this?
Yeah, that's perfect, right there. What is it called?
This is a Micromark.
Micromark, and it's, what's it called?
This is the Model 8 Carousel Organizer.
Awesome. So, yeah.
Brushes too.
Yes, it does actually. That's exactly what I have. I have the 2-tiered one.
And this, the Model 4.
Yep. So, yeah, can you link that in chat?
Yep.
Justin is about to answer your prayers.
There it is.
Yeah, the paint tier. Thank you, Casmania. Yeah, Micromark apparently does a one as well. Yeah, Planer, I'm with you on the Karen Dash. I got their water solubles too, although I'm not as avid about using that. I tend to be a traditionalist, but I have them because, well, I got Dick Blick gift certificates from my one of my relatives for a couple of years, and when you have big gift certificates, you use them on expensive colored pencils if you're me.
You know, I really wish that company had something like had named itself differently.
What?
Because every time you say it
Dick Blick?
fast, it makes me double take. Every time I'm like, what did Ann just say? Do I need to blur?
You know, I've thought that for years, but everybody knows them now, so they can't just change their name.
Sure, and now that I know what you're saying, it's fine, but it still catches me off guard sometimes.
Justin has a dirty mind, let the record show.
Oh no, it's really more from a do I need to bleep that standpoint.
Nah. You're fine. All right. Hey, we have a sub. Violent Ray, or Violent Ray, or Violent Ray. Nice rings. Yeah, nail polish stands are fine too. I just like paint spinners. Yeah. I mean, I've tried so many organizational thingies. When I moved to my new place, I was like, all right, for once and for all, I need to find the paint storage option that works for me. I was just so frustrated with my past attempts, and so I gave darn near everything a try except installing a wall of paints, because that actually does not appeal to me at all. So I finally went back to the paint spinner because it actually, I could then say with certainty that the paint spinner was the best thing for me. But it took a bit of experimentation. So yeah, so all right, so look how I painted white over that area, and now it's faded it out. I'm picking out a couple of these little scales down here. Want to pick this scale up a little bit here.
Also, Nomad had the perfect explanation.
Oh?
They said it's not a dirty mind, it's a sexy imagination. I like that.
Yeah, Blick Art Supply, exactly. And that's probably it, Dabber. They probably are finally going, oh, yeah, our name. We need something. We need to change that somehow. So they're probably rebranding. Yeah, Blick Art Supply works. Yeah, see, Valandar, it's not practical to me to wall mount a paint storage rack. I think they're an eyesore. I don't like them. I don't know. They're just not my thing. I know a lot of people who love them, like the people that I mentor, a couple of the people I mentor for my Patreon, they just love them because they've got every Reaper paint known to man. But I'm kind of the opposite. I'm kind of a minimalist in a weird kind of way, possibly because I know what goes into each color. So for me, I'm more into having a smaller amount of bottles that I can access very quickly when I know what I need exactly. So yeah, so that's more like what I was doing. So wall racks are cool, especially if you've got a crap ton of paint. But I'm moving the opposite direction. When I travel, I take like 24 paints with me tops. That's it, and I can mix anything. I'm just going to line his little paw since we're working on the upper part of Mr. Dragon today, I've decided. And I thinned my paint a little more so it wouldn't be as harsh because I learned my lesson up here. So there's two ways that you can make a more subtle line out of a color. You can, if you run into the paint is too dark trick like I did up here, And one of them is just to, add white to the paint, but the other is just to thin the paint more so it's more transparent. And then you will get a lighter line from it. Let's see here. I think my big thing is I like to have the paint kind of up and out of the way eventually. Yeah, Caprera, I would also have that problem because I do have issues with the back. Oh, Terry Lynn, thank you for the tier 1. Awesome. 3 months. Rolling. Thank you. Vote for Anne's show. A sub is a vote for Anne's show. Or shows, this is plural. Although this may be the one that we start to get a lot of guest people in on once I'm done with the dragons. We shall see. It's probably more doable for people in various time zones with the 3 p.m. slot. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
I would say that's the case, yeah.
I'm going to outline these little paw scales now. Paw scales. And you don't have to be like super neat, but you want to, essentially if you're neat with this step, if you're just concentrate and get in the zone and stay neat with it, it will benefit you because it's less touch up later on. So although you can be a little messy and you shouldn't stress if you mess up because you can always correct it with white, being neat does benefit you here as it saves you time down the road. So don't try to like go fast, just try to go neatly. Anne's 24 pink. Except that it wouldn't probably work for most people, Jay, because I'd consider it fairly advanced because, it's, I'm able to do it because I understand paint mixing and I know what's in every paint. So, I mean, it's mostly the clear brights, a couple of strategically chosen browns, black, white. There are some colors that I use so often that I bring them everywhere, like russet brown and NMM gold highlight. And ruddy leather. They're just, if I'm working on a particular project, then I'll bring a couple of things specifically for that project. Like there's no way I could hand mix Orchid Purple. It's just crazy. If I had to hand mix that every time that I wanted to use it, I would like drive myself insane. So like there are some colors where it's just a matter of convenience. So then we can see my very messy blending on the inside of the paw here. I'm going to fix that actually because I've got my white. And I've got a blue that's lighter. So I'm going to bring this up and kind of blend it in a little bit better. So if you have any really rough blends, remember the initial stage of this actually was wet blending. This is the point where you can refine those blends and blend them in. Make them less choppy and more smooth. All right, we're working on Mr. Dragon forearm there. Just trying to smooth this area out a little bit. Yeah, this dragon is coming this summer. Do you ever use a wet palette? No, Caprera, I used one. I gave it a chance. It doesn't fit my painting style very well because wet palettes are good with thicker paint and bigger brushes, and I tend to use very thin paint and a finer brush, which is definitely where a well palette shines instead. So what you should use, the type of palette you should use, is really up to your painting style. And experiment. If you're new to the hobby, experiment with both and see what you like. Let's see here. How long have I been painting? Ooh, since the dawn of time. I started painting when I was 9, which is when my parents, I think it was when we had a fantasy board game of some sort with little plastic snakes as monsters, and I remember dipping the snakes in Tester's enamel. However, soon after that, my parents got me the actual Dungeon Explorers set from, I want to say, Rapham or Grenadier. So a bunch of adventurers in one box, and that was when I started, but I didn't get serious about it or good at it till I was in college. Like I painted on and off through the years because I always liked, like I was a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan as a kid. And so I always liked the miniatures because I was already artsy. But when I got to college, that's when I started. I was painting BattleTech things for my boyfriend at the time, and then we were playing D&D and other role-playing games, so I was painting my characters. And so I started painting a lot more in college because I was hanging out with geeks doing role-playing games. And then at some point, I started working at the local game store. I was in Madison, Wisconsin, and the game store was Pegasus Games, for any of you who care. And that was where everything started to go a little crazy because I started getting discounts on miniatures, for one thing, and I sold my Magic card collection for miniatures. But they took one look at me and went, "You can paint, you should play Warhammer with us." And so then I got a Wood Elf army, and the rest is history. Because after I got into that, so you can thank Games Workshop, or I can thank Games Workshop for one thing, other than taking my money all those years. And that would be actually getting me inspired to push myself at painting. Because once I started Games Workshop, I started looking at their White Dwarf magazine, and then I saw their Golden Demon painting competition, which is their national level painting competition, which is now back in the United States for the first time in ages, and is happening in Adepticon this year in about 1 month. So essentially, Golden Demon inspired me both to get out and meet other painters who are trying to paint competitively and helping each other to get better. And also just to try myself to get better, because I had looked at those things and I'm like, you know what, I bet I could do that if I sat down and tried to figure it out. So yeah, it got me inspired, and I think I started working at the game store around 95 or 96, and in 2002 I won my first Golden Demon. And my second, actually, since Jennifer and I road tripped up to the Canadian Golden Demons to take their awards, because it wasn't enough just to take awards, in the US. We had to actually take the Canadians' awards as well. It was only fair. A bunch of them came down and did the same thing. Yeah, so there you go. It's all in the way you think, nomadzeke. You cannot do that right now, but could you do that? Yes, absolutely. Anybody could get to that level. It's just, it's just time. It's time and, enjoying your craft and, just making a small effort to get better every day, every time you paint. You don't have to break yourself either. It's just kind of paying attention. It's mindfulness in action with your painting. Instead of just slapping paint on, try to kind of experiment with it and make a note of how it works when the paint is thinner or thicker, and watch videos and get all the paint hacks. We should just call the show Paint or my morning show should be Paint Hacks. Reaper Paint Hacks, Justin. Okay. It's like life hacks, only paint hacks. Because I will totally give you the answers. Then all you have to do is catch up. Or Mix Smash, I should say. Mix Smash Mash. I have a 40K army, but I am not currently playing because my Patreon takes a lot of my time. And I still commission paint and do things like that as well. So I haven't had time really to play miniatures games for a while. I'm interested in Age of Sigmar because my real love, I never really was really into 40K. I actually liked the old Warhammer Fantasy. So I'm interested in Sigmar. The models are beautiful. But I just don't have the time right now to paint a whole army. I used to play Mordheim a lot. I loved Mordheim. I have the computer game, and it's good and close enough for me to get my Mordheim fix when I really want one. To Dusty, if you want to hit, if you really want to hit gold at ReaperCon, just keep watching my show and ask good questions. It's really not impossible. It's just, it's persistence. It's just like so many things. People who are amazing at things will tell you, it's not that I started with an advantage, it's just that I didn't give up. And that is so true on so many levels and almost everything in life. If you really want it, just keep working at it. And don't let yourself get down about it for long, It's very easy to get discouraged if you're not as good as you think you should be. And I've said this before, but our society likes to tell us that if we're not good at it, we should just quit and find something we're good at instead, but that's kind of stupid. We're not going to be good at everything out of the gate. And we here will not judge you if you are not perfect out of the gate. We will just see somebody who is trying to improve, and that is worthy of respect. So, like, my favorite people at Paint Club are the people who come in and say, I want to learn to paint at competition level. Because even if they're really, really beginners, if they're honestly, you know, sincere about it and they want to put they're excited and they want to put the time in, that's super fun for me. I love doing that, because the people who are make me sad are the ones who come in and say, oh, I want to do this, but then if it's hard, they get discouraged and they give up, you know. And there's nothing that I can really do. I can't give you motivation, but I can tell you that it's totally doable. You can do it. Any of you can do it. I have great faith in that. It is purely a choice. And we all have a lot of things, like fighting for our time and our attention in life, but we have enough to have a few hobbies and still get good at them. I'm managing to get good at baking and cooking, and I still, you know, getting good at painting and all the rest of it. So, and every once in a while I actually get to work on my colored pencils. So, you know, it's not like we can only have one hobby. We can get better at, you know, numerous things at the same time. There we go. Oh yeah, Kingdom Death Monster, actually, we did buy that. And I do like the monsters a lot. Yeah, life and time are the issue. Well, it's just, you know, I hate to say this to Dusty, but you don't need much time. If you took half an hour a night, or even just half an hour every other night, or even a couple hours on one day on the weekend, and you just put those couple hours down as, dang it, I'm going to work on my painting, you would get immensely better in the course of a single year. Like, that's it. Like, all you need to do, the biggest thing that most people don't do is they don't make a commitment on the time. They just think, well, I don't have time. In reality, when stuff comes up out of us out of left field, we find that we do have the time for this or that, but it's really, at that point, it's a priority. Is it a priority or isn't it? Or do you have other things that really need to be more priority? I mean, totally respect that. But most people could carve out like even half an hour a week. I have people who come to Paint Club and who only come to Paint Club. They only paint at Paint Club. And over the course of the past several years, they have gone from bronze level to high silver. So, and a couple of them have gone gold. So yeah, so don't get discouraged and think you have no time. It's a very small amount of time per week. As long as you really concentrate on it, you could really make progress. Frostgrave, yeah, I don't have the time now. I am prioritizing my time on the Patreon and on my commissions and stuff right now for various reasons. Oh, excellent, Dr. Bob. That's great. If you have your very first mini, that is so awesome, because then you can get discouraged. Then you can get encouraged by seeing how far you've come. Yeah, Justin notices Anne has stopped painting and is just reading comments, just because there's lots of stuff. It's pretty good. We do talk about Paint Club. Hee hee. All right, I think we're good.
I'm gonna test something real quick.
Oh, Justin's testing. Oh, it's also been an hour. All right. But you're testing. We should go back to Dragon Cam just for a second when you have a second, though. Okay. Just because I want to point out. All right, so what we did today is we lined the upper part of Mr. Dragon. We actually got a lot done on him, about a quarter of him, actually, or her. And you can see how I used lighter colors to line where it was lighter, and I used darker colors to line where it was darker. When we had to bring this up with glazing, when we accidentally made it into too dark of a color, and I've gone back and highlighted some scales. But you see now how that makes the upper portion of the dragon very crisp, whereas down here, see, it's still very nebulous. So that's what we're aiming for, is to bring out all the scales and make it look as sharp and nice as the head. So there we go. All right, now you can go back to Facecam. I've got questions. Yeah, all right.
And actually, per my count, we're at 29 subs of 30.
Yeah.
Unless I missed a sub in there somewhere. I think we need one more sub for the 6th set.
Oh, we need one more sub for the 6th set. Well, quick, somebody sub. Lady Dire Doggo, did I ever hit a point where you felt you regressed in skill or otherwise felt discouraged and lack of motivation? Oh yeah, tons of slumps. Oh boy. Like burnout at Reaper, for sure. Burnout before Reaper when I took a year off to just live by painting minis. I mean, burnout is definitely a thing. Regressed in skill, it's less regression and it's more, sometimes I forget the best way to do something. Like I'll be like all excited. Usually it'll be when I decide to start light on a model instead of starting at the mid-tone or dark. And I'll have all these ideas about how I'm going to paint down with glazes, and then I try it, and I'm like, you know what? This would have been done already if I hadn't done that. So sometimes I still do make, decisions that are not optimal, but I mean, I just paint over it and go on. It's okay. But yeah, there have been many times in my life where I've had a slump just because I got so sick of painting. And a lot of that, it was a mindset, I think, a lot of it, because I've kind of gotten past that. Like, since I started doing more staff painter stuff for Reaper again, I don't really run into that. I haven't run into it at all. So I want to say that part of it was just not knowing how to organize my life very well and how to prioritize well to be a painter, to be a working artist. And second is the the mindset of being a working artist. And part of it is figuring out what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, and like tuning your creative life to work more on the things that really do fulfill you and not just because you feel like you should do this or, well, I need to paint this, deciding to paint a bunch of miniatures for your relatives for Christmas when they probably could care less and then exhausting yourself. Maybe not, but picking a couple relatives who really would care and like it, that kind of thing. Hey, Bryce is in the chat. Hey, Bryce.
Also, and I think this is kind of a momentous moment.
Momentous moment?
Yes, because I think for the first time ever, we are the #1 channel in the art section of Twitch right now. Yeah.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, crazy, right?
We're #1. We're #1.
At least until Bob Ross shows up.
Oh, until Bob Ross shows up. Yeah, then we're down. No problem, Lady Dire. Yeah, I'll continue to share. Yeah. Yay for us being #1 in the art section. Let's keep going. How many people do we have in the...
We hit just over 200 a few minutes ago.
Wow, fantastic, guys.
For the 3 o'clock show, that's high.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Like, I feel much more like, I feel much more like energized than I did at the beginning of the stream. So you've given me energy back. Energy. I'll slurp it all up. Right. Painting bigs with it. Oh, you know what? How many brush sets are we giving away?
How many?
Yeah, how many? How many sets of brushes are we giving away?
Let's see here. Let me check this. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
We are at 5. Or 6, sorry.
Oh,
we're
5. Well then, somebody will get the
6.
wildcard sticker, but with those brushes, throw Painting Big stickers in. And somebody lucky will get the iridescent one, the shiny, shiny one. But I have five white stickers, and it's my logo. So, oh wait, I do have an extra white sticker. Now I'll leave the wildcard in anyway. So yes. Doo-doo. So we can toss those in with the brushes. Shiny, shiny stickers. Have you ever seen my stickers before, Bryce? They're super fantastic. I love the psychedelic, like, shiny rainbow one, but I actually think the white ones look pretty good, too. So, ta-da!
And also to specify, because I didn't specify, we're the #1 English Twitch stream.
Oh, okay.
In art right now. Technically, there are 2 channels ahead of us that are they're in a language I couldn't decipher. So
could be Asian if they're doing mecha.
Oh no, they're not Asian, but
okay.
I still can't read it.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Yes, Painting Big logos. Thank you for the Painting Big logos. There's a Justin face in Sophie's with the Painting Big logos. That's just silly. All right. Well, I think we're ready for the drawing. Am I correct?
Yes, we are.
Oh, Korean and Spanish Reaper miniatures. Well, Korean, I don't blame you not being able to read.
That's weird because the 2 that I have ahead right here on my screen, neither of Korean. So that's interesting that he's maybe seeing something different.
Thank you, Anaphylaxis. Rating with a party of 5, even though it's at the end of our the end of our stream. We were painting dragon today. We've been painting dragons for a while on the 3 p.m. Wednesday Reaper stream.
I still really, really appreciate the clever use of that.
Skinny Tea, I was a rebel in high school, and I learned French instead. But I actually used my French in the course of my high school career, so my mother couldn't complain too much.
For the people that just joined, Anna and your people with you, go ahead and type #free, and you can enter the giveaway real quick.
Yeah. For the new people who just came in, we're giving away Kolinsky Sable paintbrushes, Aught 5 and Aught 10. So they're really good brushes if you are into painting miniatures or even canvas. Most people use them for oils and watercolors, but we use them for tiny, well, or not so tiny, pewter, plastic, and resin people.
Yeah. Do you want to show your stickers real quick on the?
Oh yeah, we're also throwing in my stickers. Oh, stickers under the thing. So this is my Patreon. So I also decided to toss in some of my shiny stickers for the giveaway. And this is what we were working on today, by the way, new people, is we were working on one of the dragons for the Dance of Death, which is one of our Bones 4 Kickstarter models that's going to release this summer. Oh, great, Anna. That's fantastic. Mini painting is awesome. You should totally get in.
Wait a minute. Did Bob and Julie just enter for the paintbrushes?
They might have. I
They
don't
did.
know.
Bob and Julie, do you guys want some paintbrushes? We can just.
They do
you.
paint, you know.
Oh, I thought they were just sculpting.
Well, maybe they want the sticker.
All right, fine. Bob, Julie, we'll just send you a sticker.
Oh, giving away my property now.
Yeah, they're here for the stickers.
They can do whatever they want. I'm with Quindy. Let them do it. It's all good. If they win, they win.
It is interesting to see.
It's more fun to win.
It is more fun to win.
Bryce typed a free too.
Green user. See, I want a sticker.
Yeah, see? It's because it's got a dragon on it. I know Julie.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and draw the names here.
All right. Oh, wait. Drum roll, please.
That's next, by the way, on my list.
A drum roll?
Some more time. No, to have an actual mixer full of sounds.
Oh, yeah. We need a drum roll. All right.
All right.
Clicks. I hear clicks.
I'm drawing.
They're coming. They're coming.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Bobby enters all the time. Good point, green users. I bet he does. Well, especially with Ed and Ron giving away practically the entire company on Reaper Live, which is Thursday nights for those who are not used to it. Reaper, Kolinsky, Aught 5 and Aught 10, Dr. Bob.
Oh, this thing is.
Proctor enters too. See? It's free stuff. It's fun to win. Why not enter?
Okay, so our 6 winners are, once the thing finally cooperated, our 6 winners are hmroaddog.
Oh, yay, Road Dog! Woo!
bcocanour.
Oh, Bryce won!
wccwar.
All right, WC. Fantastic.
Fontana 3.
All right,
nomadzeke.
Fontana.
And
nomadzeke won. Yay, nomadzeke!
tverburgt.
Are you new, Fontana, or
tverburgt.
Or tverburgt. Some of you people are either new or you have not chatted at me. That's fine. I know a lot of people lurk. But if you are new, welcome. And if you are not new, hi. I can see your names now. Congrats. So you will get Kolinsky Sable brushes and shiny and stickers. Shiny and stickers with dragons on them. Yay.
All right.
Super fantastic. Shiny sticker. You want the shiny sticker, Bryce? You would want the shiny sticker. All right. Yeah, Nomad, your claim to fame is still me booing you for a pun. Yeah, you really stunk it with that one. It takes a bit. And seriously, it takes a bit for me to like totally wince at a pun and take damage. I have hung around with John Bono for too long to take pun damage from just anything. Trust me.
Hey, so there's a certain level.
Yes, Planer. Is Justin sending you a box of stuff anytime soon? And Planer, do you want a shiny one or a non-shiny one?
Actually, she does have some stuff. It may already have left, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure she may order more stuff.
By the way, it's a certain level of.
That's horrible, Shitakami. I love that one, though. I love that one. That's good in so many ways. So many ways. Oh, yeah. So, chat, if you won, send an email to giveaways@reapermini.com. Please include your screen name, your Twitch name, exactly as it's appearing in the chat right here, so we know who you are. And then also give us obviously your mailing address so that we can send stuff out. I might not be doing it this ReaperCon, Dr. Bob. There are some things coming up, and we'll have an announcement in March. But it may impair my ability to draw nipple pink. Also, last year, honestly, I spent a lot of time giving out Drown Nipple Pink, and it really impacted the amount of time I could spend giving people critiques at ReaperCon. And I didn't like that aspect of it, because I want to be available for people who have actual paint questions. And it was like, seriously, well, anybody who saw me on Thursday or Friday saw me getting hit all the time with Drown Nipples. That sounded terrible. I don't care. It's awesome. But yeah, so Drown Nipple Pink is a joke color I give away at ReaperCon, by the way, people.
Wait, did you get an automated message from giveaways? Because it was pretty funny. That's interesting. Huh. I don't know. So Courtney is the one controlling the clerical side of the stuff now. So if he did an autoresponder for it, it could be funny. I don't know what he did.
Okay, so I should give stickers to Courtney?
Yeah. Well, you can hand them to me and I'll distribute them to Lauren.
And I'm not sure. Dr. Bob, I did bring stickers last year. I had stickers in my snazzy business cards. I'll probably bring them again this year, probably even more. So yes, just come on up to if I have a spot, or if I don't have a spot on Artist Row, because if I'm not going to teach 4 classes, I might not, but I'll have a table nearby.
All right. So check this out, Ann. This person right here from earlier, this is impressive to me. I don't know if she took a break.
Oh my gosh.
She is still painting herself.
So, okay, any of you guys in this morning's chat remember the awesome body painting lady that we rated? Like, she's gone so much farther on her body painting. She has ivy leaves painted all over herself now. It's fantastic.
So,
she's so good.
I was actually going to say, I think it would be kind of funny but awesome to rate her again, because she has managed to continue painting for 8 straight hours.
Yeah, she's been painting for 8 hours. That's crazy talk.
Talk about an Iron Man.
Do you guys want us to rate her again, or do you want us to find a new one? Do it. Reaper John says do it. Do it. She's cute. Is that what you're really saying, Reaper John? Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is what John is saying.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. She was super positive and fun. I thought so too, Quindy. All right, say we're back.
And tell her how incredibly, insanely awesome it is to just paint for that long.
Yeah, like I'm impressed.
I couldn't paint for that long. I'll be honest.
Yes.
All right. And here we go.
All right, we're rating her.
Well, here, once I get to the
we will rate her. So yeah, and for those of you who weren't on the morning show, take a look at this. She does amazing body painting. I mean, and a lot of the highlighting and shading she does is actually applicable to miniatures. So there you go.
And everyone pile in.
Everybody pile in and say hi to her. She's really nice. She's really positive and bouncy. So I was happy.
Yes. And
you're feeling leafy. Good.
Spread the Reaper love. And if she likes painting this much, guys, why don't you guys tell her to check out some minis. Just like... It's
probably a bit different. Yeah, I thought she was doing it using an airbrush, wasn't she?
You need less showering when you're done. So
maybe. Yes, I love you guys. Thank you for making the afternoon more fun. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Oh, she does play D&D? Oh, yeah. Ooh, so there we go. All right, guys.
See you guys.
See you later.